Hi everyone, welcome to AKS Academy. I am Vilas Rathod. Recently, you might be reading in newspaper regarding the cyclones. So recently, two cyclones hit Indian coast. One is Taukte and second one is Yas. So this Taukte cyclone, so it hit the western coast of India, so which was originated in Arabian Sea. So whereas as cyclone recently originated in Bay of Bengal, and it is one kind of catastrophic cyclone, so which has damaged lot of region in Odisha as well as in West Bengal. So recently, as per the data published by West Bengal government as well as IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, so somewhere more than 13 lakh people shifted from West Bengal coast as well as Odisha coast. So before discussing about cyclones, you should know why the cyclones, what is the exact meaning of cyclone, and why the cyclones will originate, and why the more cyclones originate in Bay of Bengal as compared to Arabian Sea. As well as you should know what is the exact meaning of severe cyclone, what is the meaning of just cyclone, tropical cyclone, what is the hurricanes, what is tornado. So there are different names, those are in the news. So you should know, because UPSC will ask the question so about the topic which is in the news. Okay, and again you can get the full-fledged essay question even in state PCS exam also. So that's why this topic is very important for your exam, so whether it is UPSC exam or it is state PCS exam. Okay, so without wasting your time, so directly we'll start the discussion. So here, so today we will be going to discuss 5 important topics in this lecture. So first one is what are the cyclones, second one is origin of cyclones, third one is types of cyclones, then fourth point would be so why more cyclones will originate in Bay of Bengal as compared to Arabian Sea. This is most important. And the last one, and that is which is the most important again, that is naming of cyclones. So why we should name the cyclone, and who will name the cyclone, and what are the criteria to name the cyclone. We have to discuss each and everything. So this around 25 to 30 minutes video, so it will give the clear-cut picture about the types of cyclone, the origin of cyclone, naming of cyclone, and what is the cyclone eye, everything will discuss. And after this lecture, definitely I will promise you that you will be satisfied and you will be very happy. Okay, so first one, you should know the exact meaning of cyclone. So cyclone means it is a circular storm, and this cyclone will originate mainly in low pressure areas. That is very important point, very important point. And here the term cyclone, so it is taken from cyclos. The term cyclone is derived from a Greek word cyclos. Its meaning coiling of snake or moving in a circle, we call cyclone. And the term cyclone first time coined by a person called Henry Piddington. Henry Piddington is the person who coined the term cyclone. You should remember the person name also. So while writing the answer, so in UPSC or while writing the answer in any state PCS exams, you have to mention some facts so that you can get more marks. Okay, so here Henry Pennington, he mentioned the term cyclone first time in his journal called Asiatic Society. Asiatic Society is the journal name, and in this journal name, he has mentioned the name cyclone. That is very important. Next point. So origin of cyclone, as I said, so cyclones will originate mainly in low pressure areas. Cyclones will originate mainly in low pressure areas. And again, so you should remember the exact difference between the cyclones and anticyclones. It is very important point to remember again. So cyclone and anticyclone. So first one is cyclone means it is a circular storm, and anticyclone also it's a circular storm, but the only difference is their directions. So here cyclones, if you take, this is the globe and this is the equator, this is also equator. Okay, and this equator, that is a 0 degree equator or 0 degree latitude. So equator means 0 degree latitude. again 0° latitude. 0° latitude. So this is the northern hemisphere and this is southern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere. So this is a diagram for cyclone and this is the diagram for anticyclone. Anticyclone. Okay, anticyclone. So here direction of cyclone is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere, whereas it is clockwise in southern hemisphere and anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere. So whereas direction of anticyclones is clockwise in northern hemisphere and anti-clockwise in southern hemisphere. It is very, very important, very, very important. And again, so why it is anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere and why the cyclone move in clockwise direction in southern hemisphere, that also you have to understand. Okay, so here, so I will take, this is the 0° latitude and this is the northern hemisphere, and in northern hemisphere you know that so cyclones will originate at low pressure areas. Cyclones will originate at low pressure areas. Low pressure areas. Cyclones will originate at low pressure areas. So 0° latitude and cyclones will originate at low pressure areas. Again, cyclones will originate at low pressure areas. So this is southern hemisphere and the above is northern hemisphere. So see here, this is high pressure, surrounding high pressure, and at the center low pressure area. And so this is the initial path, straight path. This is the initial path, straight path. This is also initial path without any external effect. Without any external effect, you know that so anything moves always high concentration to low concentration. And here we are having high pressure, and that's why wind always blows from high concentration to low concentration. And this is before any external effect. So here you should know about Coriolis force. So Coriolis force, it is the invisible force, and which affects the moving wind, like, or which affects the, or which deflects the moving wind in rightward direction. So it deflects the wind to right in northern hemisphere, and it deflects the wind to left in southern hemisphere. So Coriolis is the scientist. So, and he says that Coriolis effect means, so wind will deflect towards the right in northern hemisphere and wind will deflect towards the left in southern hemisphere, and you apply this law in both the hemispheres. So again, here low pressure means surrounding high pressure, surrounding high pressure, and surrounding high pressure. So before applying Coriolis force, this is a straight direction before Coriolis force or Coriolis effect. So this is the normal direction, straight direction, because wind always blows from high concentration to low concentration, or high pressure to low pressure areas. So Coriolis says that, so wind will deflect towards the right. Again here, wind will deflect towards the right. This is the original path and wind is deflecting towards the right. This is a straight path, but the wind will deflect towards the right. This is a straight path, but the wind will deflect towards the right. Very, very important. Very, very important. So here, if you take, this is the direction. So this is the anti-clockwise direction. And again, so this is the original path, and wind will blow towards the deflect towards the in southern hemisphere, wind will deflect towards the left means this side only, and again wind will deflect towards the left, and wind will deflect towards the left, and wind will deflect towards the left. So again, when you connect these points, so this is the direction of wind. So direction of wind means that is cyclone, so that is clockwise. This is clockwise, and here anti-clockwise. Very, very important. So cyclones anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere and clockwise in southern hemisphere. So similarly here, anticyclones originate at high pressure areas. They originate at high pressure areas. So again here high pressure area, and surrounding now we'll have low pressure area. So at the center high pressure and surrounding low pressure. Okay. So here at the center high pressure, because anticyclones will originate at high pressure areas, and surrounding we are having the low pressure area. Again, the wind will blow from high pressure to low pressure. So wind will blow from high pressure to low pressure. So in the absence of external effect, in the absence of effect of external parameters. Okay, again high pressure to low pressure, high pressure to low pressure, and high pressure to low pressure. Now, so Coriolis force. What Coriolis force says? So object always deflects towards the right in northern hemisphere, and object always deflects towards the left in southern hemisphere. Now you apply the this law. So here high pressure to low pressure, but in northern hemisphere it deflects towards the right direction. Again it deflects towards the right direction. It deflects towards the right direction. It deflects towards the right direction. See here. So this is the direction, and that is clockwise. So clockwise direction. And again you apply the same rule in southern hemisphere. So wind is moving from high pressure to low pressure, and here so left means this side, and left means this side, left means this side, and again left means this side. So this is the direction of the wind, cyclone, that is anti-clockwise. It's very, very important, very, very important. So cyclones will like move in the clockwise direction in northern hemisphere, and cyclones will move in anti-clockwise direction in southern hemisphere, and cyclones will move in anti-clockwise direction in northern hemisphere, and cyclones will move in clockwise direction in southern hemisphere. These are very, very important point. So this is the direction of cyclones. Okay, so after knowing the direction of cyclones, so you know that cyclones will originate at low pressure areas, and anticyclones will originate at high pressure areas. So this is I have shown in the diagram. So this is the northern hemisphere, and this is the southern hemisphere. And high pressure means anticyclone, and low pressure area means cyclone, because cyclones will originate at low pressure areas, and anticyclones will originate at high pressure areas. And you know that in northern hemisphere, direction of cyclone is anti-clockwise, and direction of cyclone in southern hemisphere it is clockwise, and direction of anticyclone in northern hemisphere it is clockwise, and direction of anticyclone in southern hemisphere it is anti-clockwise. So these points already we have discussed. Okay, so this is about origin of the cyclone. So here cyclones will originate at low pressure areas, and anticyclones will originate at high pressure areas. And from high pressure areas, so the wind will diverge, and at low pressure areas, so wind will converge from high pressure areas. So these are very, very important. So next one is, so this is the eye of the cyclone. So eye of the cyclone means, so the central point of the cyclone, and at the central point it is very calm point. So the speed of the cyclone is very minimum at the center, but at the surrounding we'll have the different speeds of the cyclone. It is very, very important point. Okay, so it is very calm point. And that point we call the eye of the cyclone. Okay, so this is the eye of the cyclone, and it is very, very calm point, and it extends up to 100 meters. Okay, up to 100 meters. So we'll have the eye of the cyclone. So next one, so types of cyclone. So we majorly have two types of cyclone. One is tropical cyclone, and second one is temperate cyclone. So again here, tropical and temperate means, so you know very well, we are having two major tropics, that is 23.5 degree north, that is Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Cancer. And here we are having 23.5 degree south, that we call Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn. And this region we call tropical region. So this region we call tropical region, and the cyclones, those will originate this region, we call tropical cyclones. And again up to 66.5 degree north and 66.5 degree south. So this region we call the temperate region. This region we call the temperate region, and cyclones, those will originate in this region, we call the temperate cyclone. Temperate cyclone. This is very, very important. And tropical cyclones will originate mainly on the sea, and temperate cyclones will originate on both sea and earth. Sea and earth. This is very, very important point again. So temperate cyclones will originate on sea and earth or land, but tropical cyclones will originate only on the sea, because cyclones needs, so the average temperature, so which should be more than 26 to 27 degrees Celsius, and it requires more energy. For its origin, and even it requires Coriolis force. It requires Coriolis force for its origin, and all these conditions are easily available on the sea surface. So that's why tropical cyclones generally originates over sea surface. So again, different forms of cyclone. So based on the speed of the cyclone, we classify into different categories. So here, so if the speed of the cyclone is more than 221 km/h, then we name as super cyclone storm. And if the speed of this cyclone is between 166 to 220 km/h, so we call as extremely severe cyclone. And if the speed of this cyclone is between 118 to 165 km/h, then we call very severe cyclonic storm. And if the speed of this cyclone is between 89 to 117 km/h, then we call as severe cyclonic storm. And if the speed of this cyclone is more than 63 km/h and less than 88 km/h, then we call cyclonic storm. Otherwise, we call the deep depression. So deep depression means if the speed of the cyclone is less than 63 km/h or approximately 70 km/h, then we call a depression, but we will not call as a cyclone. So to call as cyclone, the minimum speed should be more than 70 km/h. That is the required condition or necessary condition. Okay, so next point again, so many people will get the confused between hurricanes, tornadoes, cyclones, and even twister and willy, typhoons. So these are the different names of the circular storm. So circular storm mainly originate at low pressure areas as well as at high pressure areas, but we will call by different names. So it is known as cyclone in Indian Ocean. It is known as cyclone in Indian Ocean, and it is known as typhoon in China Sea. It is known as hurricanes in hurricanes in again. So this 1 minute. It is known as hurricanes in this one Caribbean Sea, and it is known as willy in northwestern part of the Australia. It is known as tornado in USA. It is also known as twister in USA. So these are the different names of the circular wind or circular storm. In India or Indian Ocean, it is known as cyclone. That is very, very important. So what kind of cyclone? Again, tropical cyclone. It is known as tropical cyclone because India located nearby tropical region, okay, or in the tropical region. So that is very, very important point. So next point. So these are the different names of cyclone. So they are known as typhoons in China Sea. This is China Sea, and it is known as cyclones in Indian Ocean. Okay, Indian Ocean, and it is known as hurricanes in Caribbean Sea, and it is known as even known as tornadoes in USA. It is known as willy in Australia. It is very important. Next one. So list of storm location wise. So location wise, I have mentioned here. So in Bay of Bengal, it is known as cyclone, and its maximum speed is around 408 kilometer per hour. And affected countries, India will be affected if the cyclone originates in Bay of Bengal. Even Bangladesh will also affected, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, and Cambodia. So these countries will be affected if the cyclones will originate in Bay of Bengal. So likewise, I have mentioned the data for typhoon and willy willy and hurricanes, as well as twister and tornadoes. You please go through these data. So these data will help you to answer the questions in UPSC as well as any competitive exams. Okay. So next one, the fourth point. So why more cyclones will originate in Bay of Bengal as compared to Arabian Sea? So the first point you have to remember that, so the size of the Bay of Bengal is larger than Arabian Sea. And second point, so the water, the sea surface water of Bay of Bengal having more temperature as compared to Arabian Sea water. And another most important point, so see here, sea surface temperature. The sea surface temperature should be more than 26 degrees Celsius to originate cyclones. And this condition is available at the water of Bay of Bengal. That is very, very important. And here, Lor's convective instability. Lor's convective instability. Its meaning, so if you take the surface water of Bay of Bengal, and again below water. So this is the below water, and this is the surface water. So surface water is warmer as compared to the lower water. Lower water is colder because the water will not mix here. The water will not mix because of, again, absence of many winds. So again, so when we compare the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, here we are having the Africa. Okay, here we are having the Africa. Here we are having the Africa, and here we are having the Madagascar. So here wind will be reflected from the Africa as well as Madagascar, and due to the more wind, the water will circulate here. The water will circulate and the water will mix, and that's why the Arabian Sea water having the almost same temperature at the surface as well as at the depth also, because the water will mix here. But in Bay of Bengal, so because of here we are having the large water body, and the wind is very less here, and that's why the surface water and the depth, the water at the depth will not mix easily. The water will not mix easily, and that's why we are having the so that stratification because of less mixing. The water will not mix easily the way it mixes in Arabian Sea, and that's why we are having the stratification. So stratification means layer of water. So the upper water is warmer as compared to the lower water, and that's why due to the stratification, so we are having the instability. So we will have stability only when there is a homogeneous distribution, but here there is no any homogeneous distribution of temperature. So at the surface we are having higher temperature, and at the lower water we are having the low temperature because of cold water. And because of these two different concentration, we are having the instability, and that instability will provide more pressure gradient and more temperature gradient, and that will provide the more energy for the origin of cyclone. That is very, very important, and that's why cyclones will originate more in Bay of Bengal as compared to Arabian Sea. That is very, very important point. So point number one, so there is a stratification of water in Bay of Bengal, and less mixing of water in Bay of Bengal, and high surface temperature in Bay of Bengal, and less air disturbance or less wind disturbance in Bay of Bengal. So due to this, more cyclones will originate in Bay of Bengal as compared to Arabian Sea. And another point is Bay of Bengal having the larger size as compared to Arabian Sea. So because of these points, Bay of Bengal will have more cyclones as compared to Arabian Sea. And even geographical features means already I have shown. So these are the geographical features. So Madagascar and from Africa eastern coast, the wind will be reflected, and after reflecting the wind, so because of the wind, the water will mix here, water will mix, and there is no any stratification in Arabian Sea. That is most important point. And again, occurrence of ITCZ. Occurrence of ITCZ means when the monsoon will retreat. So generally monsoon will retreat in the month of October and November, and when the monsoon will retreat, so in Bay of Bengal, we'll have the ITCZ. We'll have the ITCZ. ITCZ means intertropical convergence zone, where two trade winds will meet. That zone we call the ITCZ. ITCZ means intertropical convergence zone. Convergence means mixing. So what will mix? Two trade winds will mix. One is the northeast trade winds and southeast trade winds. These two trade winds will mix at Bay of Bengal, and that leads to again origin of cyclones. That is very important point. And again, link with Pacific Ocean. So most of the time, so the change in weather conditions in the Pacific Ocean, that also leads to change in weather condition at the Bay of Bengal region, and that's why, so again, cyclones will originate in Bay of Bengal region. So these are very important point. And last point, so see here, so cyclones will originate more in Bay of Bengal, as compared to Arabian Sea. Next point, and that is a very important point, naming of cyclones. So you should remember, so who is responsible for naming of cyclone, and what is the criteria for naming of cyclone. So these are very important point, and these are in the news, and you have to remember for your upcoming exams. Okay, so this concept of naming of cyclone, so first time it was originated in the year 2000. The concept of naming of cyclone originated in the year 2000, and it is the initiative of WMO, World Meteorological Organization. This World Meteorological Organization, with the help of United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific. So that is another one agency. With the help of that, so it started naming the cyclones from the year 2000. Okay. So here WMO ESCAP PTC, its meaning World Meteorological Organization, United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, panel on tropical cyclones. This is very important. And on 27th session, so because again, you know that you might have heard about COP. So COP means Conference of Parties. So here conference means again official meeting. It is the official meeting. So parties means member countries. Okay, member countries. So member countries gathered in the year 2000 at Muscat in Oman, and the countries decided to, countries means member countries of WMO, World Meteorological Organization. And this World Meteorological Organization, so it was created in the year 1950, and its headquarters located at Geneva. And Geneva is the major city in Switzerland. It's very important point again. Okay, so this concept of naming of cyclone is developed by WMO and its member countries during 27th session or 27th COP. And that 27th COP was held in the year 2000 at Muscat, and Muscat comes in Oman. Okay, so here, so initially they started naming the cyclones in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. And here, so again, you have to remember, we are having a regional specialized meteorological centers that we call RSMC, Regional Specialized Meteorological Organization, as well as Tropical Cyclone Warming Centers. So we are having 6 RSMC, and we are having 5 TCWC. So RSMC means Regional Specialized Meteorological Centers. So WMO, this is the main body, and we are having 6 regional centers, and you have to remember those 6 regional centers. And out of 6, so Indian Meteorological Department, IMD, is also one among the 6 regional specialized meteorological centers. And that Indian Meteorological Department, it is responsible for naming of cyclones in Indian Ocean. And in Indian Ocean means mainly northern part of Indian Ocean. And in northern part, so Bay of Bengal region as well as Arabian Sea region. That is also very important point. Next point. So these are the six RSMC, regional specialized meteorological centers. In that we are having one, that is Indian Meteorological Department. So which is responsible for naming of cyclones in Bay of Bengal as well as Arabian Sea. And Indian Meteorological Department, it located in New Delhi. Its headquarters located in New Delhi. It is very, very important point. And this is the regional center naming the cyclones in Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean. So similarly, we are having, so which is located at France, and that will name the cyclones in Southwest Indian Ocean. And again, we are having so another regional center which is located in again Mexico, and which is responsible for naming the cyclone in Caribbean Sea as well as North Atlantic, okay, and even Gulf of Mexico also. And this center located in USA. So this regional center located in USA. Then another regional center, so which is located in Fiji, and that names the cyclone related to Southwest Pacific Ocean. And finally, we are having another one in USA. So that is responsible for naming the cyclones in Central North Pacific Ocean. So these are the six regional specialized meteorological centers, and among the six, we are having IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, also one among the six. That is very, very important point. And these are the six regions. So region one, so which is related to this Africa, and second region related to Asia, and third region related to South America, and fourth region related to North America, and fifth region related to Australia, and sixth region again Europe. So these are the six regions, WMO regions. And again, so maximum cyclones will originate in Pacific Ocean, and that also western part. This is the Pacific Ocean, and this is the western part of the ocean, and this is the eastern part of the ocean, Pacific Ocean. In the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean, around 17% of the cyclones will originate. And see here, western part of the Pacific Ocean, around 38% of the cyclones will originate in the western part of the Pacific Ocean. And in Indian Ocean, so 5% in Bay of Bengal and 1% in Arabian Sea. So maximum cyclones will originate in Bay of Bengal, and very less cyclones will originate in Arabian Sea. But nowadays, cyclones are frequently originating in Arabian Sea as well, because of global warming and again, so change in weather. So this is very, very important point. So next one is naming of cyclones in Indian Ocean. So naming of cyclones in Indian Ocean, so started in the year 2004. So first point is, so in the year 2000, WMO started the initiative of naming the cyclones across the world. But in Indian Ocean, naming of cyclones started in the year 2004. And in the year 2004, so one grouping was made, the grouping of 8 countries, and that grouping is responsible for naming the cyclones under the IMD. So how it works, that I will explain. So earlier, the grouping of 8 countries was made. So those 8 countries are Bangladesh, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. So these 8 countries made the group, and these 8 countries will suggest the 8 names. Each country will suggest the 8 names. So 8 into 8 means 64. So 64 names were suggested by these 8 countries. Okay, that is very, very important. Each country has to suggest 8 names, and 8 countries are there. So 8 names into 8 countries means 64 names. So these 64 names are already suggested and submitted to IMD, Indian Meteorological Department. And now IMD will give the name one by one from the submitted list. Means IMD already having the name of the cyclones, and whenever the cyclones will originate, so the name will be announced by IMD. So those are submitted by the these countries. This is very, very important, very, very important. And again, why cyclones are named, why we should name the cyclone. So what is the reason, means what are the reasons for naming the cyclone. So first point, so if we name the cyclone, it will be easy to media to report about the cyclone. And again, it is very easy for the coastal communities for for their that preparedness or to prepare that like we have to shift the people from the coastal region to that good region. Otherwise, what happens no, whenever the cyclone comes, so because these cyclones are very catastrophic, and most of the times these cyclones will become very severe, and that's therefore they will affect very negatively to the coastal communities. And for that no, so we should name the cyclones, we should name the cyclones so that so we can pre-plan. And again, so names are presumed to be easier to remember than numbers and technical terms. So rather than remembering the numbers, so if we give the names, it is easy to remember their names. Okay, that is very, very important point. Very, very important point. So these are the some of the points I have mentioned here. You please go through these points. So these points are very, very important. Why we should name the cyclones. Okay. Next one. So guidelines to name the cyclones. What are the guidelines to name the cyclones? So first one, those 8 countries. So 8 countries are there, no? So those 8 countries we have to arrange in alphabetical order. So countries should be arranged in alphabetical order. That is point number 1, and that is the first guideline. And second point, so the countries, those are giving the name, that name should be neutral. The name should be neutral. That name should not be related to any politics. For example, BJP cyclone, Congress cyclone, Janata Party cyclone, BSP cyclone. So like again, Trinamool Congress cyclone. So we should not name the cyclones. Those are related to politics or parties. And we should not name the cyclones so like based on the religious beliefs. We should not name the cyclones based on the culture. And we should not name the cyclones based on the gender. So these are some of the guidelines before naming the cyclones. And another point, the cyclones, it should not hurt the sentiments of any group of people. It should not hurt any people on this planet Earth. And as well as it should not be rude and cruel in nature. So it should be simple, and it should have means its name should be short, and it should be easy to pronounce. And again, maximum there should be 8 letters. There should be 8 letters. So for example, now we have saw Taukte. So how many letters are there? See here, 3 and 8, maximum 8 letters. And before we saw now recently we saw as, so only 4 letters. And before that, Ampon. So means it should have maximum 8 letters. That's also one of the criteria or one of the guideline. Okay. And if whatever name we are giving, so we should not repeat the names. We should not repeat the names. If the name used, it should be ceased to be used again. Means we should not repeat the same names for future cyclones. So these are the very, very important points. So earlier there were 8 countries. So Bangladesh, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. See here, we have arranged in alphabetical order. So first is B, then I, then M. But here A is alphabetical. That comes first. So O, P, S, and T. So the countries are arranged in alphabetical order, and they have suggested 8 names. They have suggested 8 names. So 8 into 8, total 64. Total 64. And here the names should be given again in alphabetical order. The names should be given in alphabetical order. Means first Bangladesh will give the name, that is O'Neill. Second, India should give the name. Then Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. When these 8 names are given, then the second list will start. Second list will start. Means we'll give the name from second list. We means IMD. So IMD will declare the name for the cyclones, and this list already is there with IMD. Okay, so like that, no. So now recently in the year 2019, so these all 64 names are completed. 64 names are completed, and in the year 2018, so there was a 45th session or 45th COP that also held in again Oman. And recently 5 more countries are joined this grouping. So 5 more countries like Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. So these 5 countries joined this group 8, and now there are 13 countries. Now there are 13 countries, and now these 13 countries are responsible for recommending the names of cyclone. And these 13 countries will recommend 13 names, and 13 into 13, 169. So already 169 names are suggested by these 13 countries. Okay, and this list is there with IMD. This list is there with IMD, and now IMD will declare one by one. So according to the guidelines. Okay, so these are the 69 names. So these are the 13 countries: Bangladesh, India, Iran. Like this, 13 countries are there, and 13 into 13, 13 into 13, we are having 169 names. And see here. So recently, Bangladesh named as Nisarga, India named as Gati, Iran named as Niwar, and Maldives named as Buri, and Myanmar named as Taukte, and recently Oman named as Yes. Oman named as Yes. And next cyclone will be Gulab. Next cyclone will be Gulab, and it is recommended by Pakistan. This name is recommended by Pakistan. And who will declare the name? IMD will declare the name. And who recommended the name? So it is recommended by Pakistan. And after Gulab, so next cyclone will be Shaheen. Next cyclone will be Shaheen, and that will be recommended by Qatar. Then we are having the Jawad cyclone, Asani cyclone, and the Sitrang cyclone. So like this. So when these 13 names completes, so then we'll take the second list, and then we'll start again naming from Bangladesh to up to Yemen. So this is the procedure. And again we are having these 169 names, and again it will take around 2 to 5 years to complete this list. And again the new list will be submitted by the countries, and again the names will be declared from the list. Means here IMD already having the list, and whenever the cyclone comes, so the IMD will declare the name one by one. So Taukte was named by Myanmar, and Oman was named by us, and the next cyclone will be Gulab. Just remember, next cyclone will be Gulab. So this is the all about cyclones, origin of cyclones, and naming of cyclones. So I think you might have enjoyed the video, and if you like the video, please share it, please comment, and please like the video. Thank you so much. So please stay safe and stay healthy. Okay, thank you one and all.